I think it's important for us to talk to our viewers about the difference between a restorative treatment plan and, shall we say, for want of a better word, a beautification treatment plan.
Sure.
Can you describe to the viewers watching this who may not know what that means, the difference between those?
Absolutely.
And also why it's important?
So I'd say I see both. I see both. I'm in Birmingham, so I have a younger clientele, and those patients will come for enhancements.
Yeah.
I see a lot of brides to be or brides that are kind of getting ready for their wedding and things like that. I see a lot of people that are self-conscious of certain facial features, commonly the nose and the under eye area. They might be conscious of thin lips, lack of a chin. So that will be my younger patients who they're in their 20s, maybe up to 35. They haven't really had much noticeable volume loss or time to age. Typically, they might have genetically an underdeveloped chin, underdeveloped jaw, or they might have naturally a little bit of a hollow under eye where there's no aging of the eyelid, but that's just the way they're born. They have less volume. They might have very narrow cheeks. They might look quite long in the face and narrow. I can widen the cheeks and give them a more feminine appearance.
Yeah.
They might have a bump in the nose or a droopy tip, which I can then structure and reshape.
Yeah.
They might have inverted M-shaped lips that need balancing and plumping out for them. So all of those treatments are not designed to make them look younger.
Yeah.
It's actually to make them look more cosmetically attractive.
Yeah, more harmonious with other parts of the face.
That's it. Yeah. So I'm trying to bring them up to, which often tend to be Western beauty standards, is what most of the world seems to be going for now. But we kind of then we're working with their proportions and ratios, trying to make them look better. Still not done, still not look like they've had treatment.
Yeah.
Still unnatural, natural and undetectable.
Yeah.
Which is completely opposite to what 40, 50, 60-year-old patient, sometimes even 70-year-old patient will request. Because for them, to look more attractive isn't the goal. It's to look good for their age.
Yeah.
They want to make it look so subtle that they don't see these proportions enhanced. If anything, they just want to look like a younger version of themselves.
Yeah.
So they're not bothered that they have a long oblong face and they want to widen their cheeks. If anything, the fact that they've lost the front of their cheek is more important.
Okay.
So for them, it's a case of, can you make me look, fresher, more youthful, brighter, without, again, people knowing I've had filler, but they don't want to look 21 or 18. They're not trying to look, like a young adult again. They just want to look good for their peer group.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of the difference between when you got someone with some light falling on their face. Beautification is more about trying to go after where the light catches.
Yeah.
And get the highlights, the accents, and get the structure. And restoration, or whatever you would like to call it, restorative, anti-aging, that is more replacement of lost volume, where you've got the shadows.
They've had time to age. They've had time to lose volume and bone structure. They've had time for the skin to thin and collagen to diminish and skin laxity to develop. So then I'm trying to reverse the process of time.
Yeah.
The closest thing I can relate it to is this concept in physics called entropy.
Yeah.
So, everything has a propensity to go towards chaos and disorder, and our face is the same. It's very well put together when we're young, and over time, it wants to just disintegrate, and it is going towards disintegration.
Yeah.
And I see that, like the case I was talking about earlier with Mark, is the jigsaw puzzle pieces that once were perfectly connected together have now become disconnected with gaps and grooves in between them.
And we see those lines in the face.
And that's it. We see the lines or the shadows and the dips and the valleys, and we're trying to reconnect them together with a volumizer.
Yeah.
So, whereas the younger patients have none of that.
Yeah.
Their jigsaw puzzle's perfectly together, but they want a different jigsaw puzzle.
Yes, yes. And I think there's a large difference in how we treatment plan these things. So, for example, if someone is in a restorative treatment plan and we're chasing the shadows, we, over time, over the course of a year, you could easily go to 20 mils in some cases, and maybe even more. And that's when you look at a fat transference of dermal fillers. I've seen cases where we're in that sort of situation, we're chasing these shadows, and we know people have had 30 mils, and actually they don't look like they've had anything done because they've had such a massive volume loss. Whereas when we look at the beautification, when we look at chasing the light and the highlights, I think there is an upper limit where you can nowhere, anytime go near 30 mils.
Oh, no chance. Yeah.
Like
you'll make them look
ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely cartoonish.
Yeah. And I think the average person who doesn't have massive signs of aging, when it comes to beautification, the average person is probably going to take somewhere between, it's a large range, by the way, excuse me, but it's probably going to be somewhere between, let's say, 3 and maybe 8, 9 mils.
Yeah.
And that's a maximum.
I'd say typically 3 is probably my most likely go-to for most people, and you can do a lot in that.
Yeah.
But it depends on, are they male or female? Or a straightaway male that really take up a bit more. The face is bigger measurements wise.
Yeah.
Skin is thicker, there's more soft tissue, so you're hiding the filler under more layers. So
Yep.
it takes more filler to then move all those layers
Yep.
by a few millimeters, because everything is really millimeters about working with.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're trying to lift this much soft tissue and skin versus this much,
Yep.
that's easier to move with less filler. That takes more filler, more grunt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I think full face dermal fillers, which is the topic of today, it doesn't actually mean anything. Is it full face to restore what you've lost? In which case you can probably take a whole load of filler and you still look fantastic.
Yeah.
Or is it full face to beautify and to accentuate the structure of your face? In which case you cannot go past a certain
That's
amount.
it. There are some full faces I do in 2.5, 3 mils.
Yeah.
And that's a full face. That's still every area of the face optimized.
Yeah.
But they haven't lost a lot to need a lot. So I can kind of
Absolutely.
losing a little bit, do a lot.
Absolutely.
Whereas the case today had never had treatment, and it was the first time starting, and had a lot of volume loss.
Yeah.
So it took a lot to replace that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Absolutely.
a car fuel tank.
Yeah.
You can top it up every week, and it may have only used a very small fraction, and you're not putting a lot more in.
Yeah.
Or you can wait till it goes, that light comes on, and suddenly you go to the whole tank. You're going to need a lot of liters.
Yeah. It's going to be much more expensive.
Yeah.